Walk it. Keep your mouth shut. Quit while you're ahead.
Officials have called the captains for both teams to midfield for the coin toss. For Buck State, number 3, Kevin Torillo. Number 27, Gino Bonagura. Number 52, Dave Lauer. Number 94, Cliff Brown. For RPI, number 9, Dan Calabro. 23, Sean Egan. 44, Jack Bogart. And 52 is Aaron Castillo. Castillo.
Your coin has the Excelsior or Excellence on the top, the head on the back. So the head is the head, the black is the tail. You can call it before I toss it. What you call? Call his tails. And it's a head. You want to toss?
You defer?
RPI is one to toss. Defer to the second half. Want the ball? Which goal do you want to defend?
At midfield with the captains,
Put your
please
backs to
welcome
your-
Lieutenant John Cole,
your
class
goals.
of 2010.
Thank you, John.
John was injured in a helicopter crash in Afghanistan.
Buff State.
He's come a long way. We're proud and honored to have him here today with us to participate in the opening ceremonies and the coin toss. Direct your attention to the north end zone and let's meet the starting defensive unit of the RPI Engineers. First at defensive end, a sophomore, number 9, Amechi Kankwo. At defensive tackle, a senior, number 76, Rohan Chirian Ash. At nose guard, a sophomore, number 98, Antonio Oliano. At defensive end, the senior number 89, Cole Valinati. The linebackers for the Engineers, a senior number 44, Jack Hogard. A junior number 50, Jack Fallon. And also a junior number 31, Jack Sadak. At cornerback, a senior number 39, Anthony Gallo. At free safety, a senior number 38, Luke Watanabe. At strong safety, a junior number 4, Joey Gutowski. And at cornerback, a senior number 25, DJ Stefanski. Welcome the rest of the Engineers and their head coach, Ralph Isernia. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise, direct your attention to the field for the presentation of the colors by Joint Service Color Guard and the singing of our national anthem from the Joint Service Choir.
About ready to start action here at the East Campus Stadium. Kurt Stud on the call for you today. RPI football on WRPI Troy. Final warm-up for both teams going into non-conference action next year. Also, this is the final expected non-conference game between these two teams. For those who don't know, Buffalo State is joining the Liberty League next season. They will be a part of the league, making it a 7-team league that also brings the Empire 8, the current conference for Buffalo State, down to 7 teams. If you do the math, 7 teams can't all play each other in one weekend, and because of that, the 2 leagues have also worked out a scheduling agreement so that it'll make it easier for teams to get non-conference games, because everybody at some point during the season is going to have to play outside of conference down the stretch run. Notably, the game that'll be of particular interest to a lot of people, the Cortland-Ithaca game, which is a non-conference game as of last year. That's the last game of the season, so everybody else in both leagues, thanks to the fact that those 2 teams play in the last weekend, will be able to play play in a conference game on the final weekend of the season. For Ithaca and Cortland, those seasons in the conference will be done by the time they get to the final weekend of the season. It'll be RPI going left to right, Buffalo State right to left across your radio dial here in quarter number 1. RPI does a short kick, caught by one of the upmen for Buffalo State. He drops it and now picks it up at the 46-yard line. I'm thinking that was planned. It looks to me like that was the plan there, was to kick it short and see if RPI could come up with something, but it's going to be at the 47 for Buffalo State, and they'll start out there 1st and 10 with good field position. Four wideout formation for the Bengals as they start out here 1st and 10 at their own 47. No score, just underway here in the first quarter. Torillo Throws, and that's incomplete near the 50-yard line. Kendrick Benson was the intended receiver. It was thrown low, and he tried to pick it up off the ground right as it hit, and that was unsuccessful. So it's incomplete on first down for Buffalo State.
2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10, Buffalo State at their own 47. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Lone man in the backfield. Torillo will hand off on 2nd down, and this is going to net nothing. That is Paul Tonic, the starting running back for Buffalo State, being stopped at the line of scrimmage. Sherian Ash on the tackle for RPI. Makes it 3rd down and 10, Buffalo State, and already the Bengals are in that difficult position I mentioned in the pregame. Not picking up yards on 1st and 2nd down, or enough yards on 1st and 2nd down, and then looking at a 3rd and long situation. Torillo looks to throw, puts it up in the air. Is that caught? Is that complete at the 41? Looks like Rutledge pulled it down. He's out just inside the RPI 42, and that will be a 1st down for Buffalo State. So Buffalo State converts on 3rd and 10. They'll have a 1st and 10 at the RPI 42. 1 minute gone by here in the first quarter. No score between RPI and Buffalo State. 1st and 10 for the Bengals at the 42. They'll stick with the 3 wideouts on the left, 1 on the right. Rutledge is in the backfield. Throw, is that complete? Nope, incomplete. They're going to call it incomplete. Everett was the intended receiver at the 37. Torillo was hit right as he let go of the ball, and it didn't come out cleanly. So the pass hit the ground first. No complaint from the Bengals. That was right in front of their sideline. Have to go with the call on that one. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Bengals just inside the RPI 42-yard line. Tonic in the backfield. He gets the handoff from Torillo. So goes straight ahead. Tonic gets to the 40, maybe to the 39 on his forward progress, but that's all. He was immediately pushed back. Hoggard on the tackle for RPI as he came right up the middle, stopped the run of just inside the 40-yard line. Called a gain of 2 and a bit. That will make it 3rd down and 7 for Buffalo State just inside the 40-yard line. No score here, first quarter. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Tonic in the backfield. Torillo takes the snap. Gives to Tonic. Tonic's got a hole on the right to the 35. Tonic stays on his feet and is stopped short. He's stopped by Stefanski at the 33. Needed to get inside the 32. So for Buffalo State, actually he's back near the 34, more like the 34. For Buffalo State, they need 2 more yards, and at the moment they are keeping the offense out there. For halftime, we have our interview with the coach at halftime. He talks about situations like this. What the kicking game for Buffalo State is like, what would they do, and he's expecting in situations like this for Buffalo State to go for it, which is what they are doing right now. 4th down and 2 at the RPI 34-yard line. Movement in the backfield. Bailey has to set. Now Buffalo State's ready to go. 4 wideouts. Bailey is the running back. Torillo throws the ball. Knocked away on defense. Knocked away. I think that was Stefanski again who may have gotten a hand on that one. Yeah, that's Stefanski running off onto the sideline. So Stefanski comes off with the knock away on 4th down, and Buffalo State turns the ball over on downs on their first drive. They make it all the way down near the RPI 34-yard line, but can't convert on 4th down. And that gives RPI their first opportunity with the ball. No score here in the first quarter. 12:22 to go in this quarter. 1st and 10, RPI at their own 34. Marinopoulos, the quarterback for RPI. Handoff on 1st down. Nice hole for RPI on 1st down. Cella makes it out to the 42.
By number 27, Gino Bonagura.
Bonagura, the safety I mentioned, made the tackle on that one. Cella with another carry, gets away from one man, now dragged by the ankle, but he stopped at the 48-yard line. However, that is a 1st down for RPI. So 2 runs by Cella, quickly a 1st down for the Engineers out to their own 48. 11:55 to go here. First quarter in Troy. We have no score. Engineers, 2 wideouts to the right, tight end on the right as well. Ackerman is alone. It's a wideout on the left. And Cella is in the backfield. Marinopoulos, the quarterback, out of the shotgun. Law goes in motion towards the line. Handoff is to Cella. Follows Law. Cella with a hole to the 45. Cella is stopped at the 43 of Buffalo State and she gains 9 yards.
Tackled there by number 49, Adam Swerline.
Swerline
To gain of 9, second down and 1.
on the tackle for Buffalo State. RPI with good gains on both their first downs, setting up second and shorter, in contrast to what Buffalo State went through in their first series. No score in the first quarter, 11 minutes to go. 3 receiver formation, tight end on the right. Cella with the carry, bounces out to the left. He's got a first down to the 40. Cella's out of bounds around the 38, and that'll be another first down RPI.
Tackled there by number 35, Darren Wesley. First and 10 RPI at the Buffalo State 38-yard line.
So as Al Shibley, the PA announcer, just said, ball's at the 38-yard line for RPI, first and 10. Buffalo State turned it over on downs on their first possession. RPI with their first possession of today's game. Law goes in motion to the left. Now turns around, stays in the backfield. Handoff goes to Cella. Cella finds a hole. Cella heads upfield and is stopped at the 33. He picks up 5 on that play. RPI has kept it on the ground thus far today, picking up 5 plus just about every down. No reason to go to the air if the ground is working. Second and 5 for the Engineers. RPI looks over to the sidelines. 2 receivers to the left. Cella takes the carry. Cella finds a hole, gets through, gets a couple more yards, and that should be a first down. It's close to a first down. It's just a little bit short of the 28-yard line where RPI has to get for the first down.
By 36, Joe Scaglione. Third down and 1 from the 29.
Pardon me, make a change there. That's Scaglione in at running back now for RPI. So Scaglione on the carry. Scaglione takes the ball again, finds room, and he's got a first down to the 25-yard line.
Tackled by number 45, Osio.
First and 10 RPI at the 25 of Buffalo State. No score, 9:05 to go here, first quarter. Engineers look to the sidelines. Two receivers to the left. Calabro was in motion to the right. They're going to hand off to Scaglione, and he's going to get to the 20-yard line.
36 Scaglione.
That's a pickup of 5 for RPI.
20-yard line. Number 20, Obi New on the tackle along with Osio.
New on the tackle for Buffalo State.
And 5.
So RPI has been moving the ball well on the ground. First possession, 8:30 to go here, first quarter. First possession for RPI. It's all been on the ground so far, starting out back at their own 34-yard line. They're now at the Buffalo State 20. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. That's Calabro was alone on the right. Scaglione is in the backfield. Scaglione takes the handoff, and this will be the first good stop by Buffalo State on D, as maybe a foot. Scaglione got maybe a foot on that second down and 5 play.
Tackled by 53, Jason Taylor, and 51, Devin Bell.
RPI's lineup. George Marinopoulos is the quarterback. Tailback Nick Cella, though Scaglione is, Cella looks like has gone back into the game. Yes, Cella is now back in the game on this third down and officially 5 situation for RPI. Rob Law and Connor Davies are the slot backs. Wide receivers are Keaton Ackerman and Danny Calabro. 3rd and 5 RPI. Man in motion going to the right. That's Law. Pass, first time, that's complete to Calabro to the 15, Calabro to the 10, Calabro to the 5, still on his feet, and he's in for the touchdown. Calabro keeps fighting. Buffalo State doesn't tackle cleanly, and that's a 20-yard reception. Marinopoulos to Calabro, and RPI leads 6-0 with 7:27 to go here in period number 1.
Calabro.
Krishnan out to try the extra point for RPI. Snap, spots down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. 7:27 left to go here, quarter number 1. And RPI strikes first. That was 20 yards. Marinopoulos to Calabro on the catch and run. And as a result, RPI with the extra point has a 7-0 lead. This is an RPI offense that in recent weeks has stalled. Did not score in the second half against WPI. Had trouble moving the ball at times, a lot of times, against Utica last week. It's an offense that really needed to get out there and get some points, and that's what they did on this first drive. Everything was on the ground until the last play of the touchdown pass, that 20-yarder. That was the first time RPI went to the air on that series. And again, if you look at the stats, this is a Buffalo State team that had been giving up 5+ yards per run against the opponents. If that's what they're coming in with, then give them the run to start out with and see how it works, and it's worked well for RPI to this point. Christian to kick the ball away. Another short kick, taken by an up man at the 30 to the 35, and out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Ball was lost and went sailing out of bounds, so it'll be Buffalo State's ball. That was McKenzie on the return. He's from White Plains. Returns the ball to the, they'll call it 39-yard line. That's where Buffalo State starts out. Everett and Rutledge are the backmen for Buffalo State, and they are both good return men, so this could be the plan for RPI, is to kick the ball short during today's game and don't give those two players an opportunity to run one back very far. 1st and 10, Buffalo State at their own 39, trailing 7-0 here with 7:22 to go in the first quarter. Handoff on first down. That's a 8-yard gain approximately for Tonic going off the left side of the line.
On the carry. Gain 7 on the play. 2nd down and 3.
Watanabe on the tackle for RPI.
Tackled by 57, Alex Hazard.
Ball at the 46-yard line for Buffalo State. 2nd down and 3 for a wideout formation. Handoff goes to Tonic again. Tries to weave his way through the middle of the pile. Gets pushed, but he'll be stopped at the 48-yard line. I'll credit Fallon on the tackle there for RPI. Ball at the 48-yard line for Buffalo State. 3rd down and 1. 4-receiver set. Torillo out of the shotgun. Tonic in the backfield. He's going to take the pitch. Tonic tries to turn the corner. Caught by the leg, and he is down at the 43. That's a big loss there for Buffalo State. From a 3rd and 1 to a lot less. Katowski on the tackle for RPI. Puts Buffalo State in a position where instead of, if they got back to the line of scrimmage 4th and 1, it's now about 4th and 5, and the punt team will be coming out for the Bengals. Sajak is listed as the punter for Buffalo State, but I don't believe he's the one out there right now. Snap. The kick is away. Nope, that was not Sajak. Davies lets this bounce. Buffalo State falls all over themselves, and it's going to be down right around the 30-yard line. That was Tommy Carr on the punt for Buffalo State. We have 5:28 to go here in quarter number 1 in Troy. It's RPI 7 and Buffalo State nothing.
RPI 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
RPI started out at the 34 in their first drive, went all the way down for a touchdown. They are starting out at the 30 right now. 7-0 they lead. Single wideout each side, men in the slot on each side for RPI. And This is going to be a handoff to one of the slot men. This is going to be out to the 35-yard line. That was Bryce Todd coming in from the slot position into the backfield and making his way out to the 35.
Great Bryce Todd on the carry. Gain of 5 on the play. Second down and 5.
8-yard run by Todd gets number 8 Todd gets a 5-yard run. Let's get those numbers straight. And it's a 2nd and 5 RPI at their own 35-yard line. This time the handoff goes to Kelly, and Kelly tries to go to the left side and turn it upfield. He gets a couple more yards, more than a couple really. He's out to the 39-yard line, and that sets up 3rd and 1 for RPI. The line up front for RPI, didn't get to that yet. Chris New, Thomas Olsen, Bobby Booz, Rick Bosky, and Aaron Castillo. That is RPI's starting offense. 3rd down and 1, RPI at their own 39-yard line. 7-0 they lead, 4.5 to go first quarter. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left, man in the slot on the left. Handoff on 3rd down, straight ahead, and that should be a 1st down for RPI. It'll be out to the 42-yard line. Chella on the carry for RPI, and the chains move. 1st and 10, RPI at the 42. Bengals with the 4-man front. Linebackers and safeties are playing pretty close to the line right now. Nobody's pretty deep for RPI, or according for the Bengals. Pass, that's completion to the 40, to the 35, to the 20, to the 15, and inside the 15, Nick Smith is stopped at the 14-yard line, and that'll be a 1st down for RPI. Engineers 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Somebody from RPI just lost their helmet as the play is stopped at the 13. That's a gain of 1 for RPI. That's Avery on the carry for RPI. Moving a lot of people around right now.
It's a gain of 1 on the play. 2nd down and 9.
A lot of changes for RPI on offense as they're moving people in and out. Set you up. There's 3:20 to go here, first quarter. 7-0 RPI. Looking at a 2nd to end at 9. Called a 2nd and 9 at the 13-yard line. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Marinopoulos. Cella's in the backfield. They will send Avery in motion to the left. Handoff goes to Cella. He goes left. Cella to the 10. Cella can't turn the corner on this one.
Cella on the carry, knocked out of bounds at the 9-yard line.
Forced out of bounds.
By number 35, Darren Wesley.
Wesley forced him out of bounds. Right around the 14-yard line. That makes it 3rd and about 5. I'm going to call it 6. Ball's at the 9. They really need to get to the 3. Call this 3rd down and about 6. Marinopoulos wants to throw, looking in the corner for Ackerman, and it's through his hands as he was near the back of the end zone. There was a chance if he had held on to that, he could have come down in the end zone for a touchdown, but it goes through his hands and incomplete. And RPI is looking at 4th and call it 5.5 now. And they will send Christian out to try for a field goal. Near the left hash, this will be a 26-yard attempt. Snap, spots down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. 2:26 to go here, quarter number 1. RPI now has a 10-0 lead.
2:26 remaining in the first quarter.
RPI 2 possessions, 2 scores.
Score RPI 10, Buffalo State 0.
10-0 is your score.
Today? No, it's 29.
Offense moving well and putting points on the board, and that was something that, starting at halftime of the WPI game, has been difficult for this team. shut out for the second half of the WPI game. Difficulties last week against Utica through a lot of the game, trying to move the ball downfield. I would say it is safe to say that Utica has had the best defense that RPI has seen so far this year. As Christian tees the ball up at the 35-yard line. Everett and Rutledge back deep. Will RPI kick this deep or keep it short? They're going to kick this one short again. Taken at the 30-yard line, to the 35, 40, 45. This is pretty good field position for Buffalo State. McKenzie, second straight kickoff he has returned.
First and 10, Buffalo State at their own 46-yard line.
The wind is in RPI's favor in this quarter, and if RPI feels Christian can't get this ball to the end zone at this point, then I guess that short kick is going to be the plan the rest of the way out. Kevin Torillo takes his team out. Buffalo State's third possession. They trail 10-0 here as the first quarter is winding down. Torillo rolls out to his right, throws and overthrows Everett along the sidelines. That was the intended receiver, and that was well overthrown. So high that Everett didn't even bother trying to reach for it. Kevin Torillo is the quarterback for Buffalo State. The fullback is Eric Fitch. The running back is Paul Tonick. Flankers listed as Jamar Rutledge. Wide receivers are Jordan Everett and Sam Mazzara. 4 receiver set, 3 on the right for Buffalo State here. Second down and 10 at their own 46-yard line. Fake the handoff. That's a pass in the flat, complete to Jackson. Jackson runs up to the 50 on the right side and gets to the 48 of RPI. And Buffalo State is looking at a 3rd and 4 now, but have the ball on the RPI side of the field. Dave Lauer, Marcus Watkins, Andrew Sisson, Dominic Hitchcock, and Trey Smith are the line up front for Buffalo State. 3rd down and 4 for the Bengals. They are in their road whites. White jerseys, white pants with a black stripe on the side. Black helmets. Their colors are orange and black. They do look similar to the Cincinnati Bengals. So the name fits and everything. Pass, that is complete, but short of a first down. Bukowski comes in to make the tackle on Jackson, as his forward progress has him at the 45. That'll make it a 4th and 1 as Buffalo State needs to make it to the 44-yard line. Buffalo State at this point keeping the offense on the field. They are down 10-0 here in the first quarter. Crowd getting behind the engineer defense. RPI crossing to the neutral zone. They've moved back. Now they're pointing out the Bengals moving, but they're okay. They haven't snapped the ball yet. Play clock is down to 3. Buffalo State needs to set. They do. They'll snap. Oh, wait a minute. That might be a delay of game. Buffalo State will be called for a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense, number 3. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
That moves Buffalo State back to the 50 to make it 4th and 6. And the punt team will be coming out now for Buffalo State. A little too much time moving around before Buffalo State finally set and could snap the ball. And by the time they snapped it, it was too late. They took the delay of game penalty. So the ball is on the 50 for a 4th down and 6. And Carr is out to punt for Buffalo State. Davies is inside his 20 to receive this for RPI. High snap. Carr has to reach up, get it. Now he's finally going to kick it. It's a low kick, and this works out a little bit better for Buffalo State than it looked like. Carr had to go back and get the ball. It bounced around. Nobody from RPI got close to him enough before he could just quickly get off a kick. certainly not the way he intended it, but it rolls out of bounds at the 30. So that's a net plus 20 for Buffalo State on that play. 37.8 seconds left here in the first quarter in Troy. It's RPI 10 and Buffalo State nothing. Engineers' third possession. They are 2 for 2 in terms of scoring today, looking to make it 3 for 3. The ground game has worked very well for RPI, and they will keep it on the ground again, trying to pick up some yards, breaking through the line, getting some tackles, and now getting a first down out to the 45-yard line. Scaglione on the carry for RPI gets the Engineers a first down. RPI is 5 yards away from where Buffalo State had the ball and punted it. That's how quickly RPI has moved up. 2 receivers to the right, man in the slot, and a tight end to the left for RPI. Fake handoff to Scaglione. Pass, that's complete to Law. Law avoids the tackle to the 50, 45. Flag out as Law goes out of bounds inside the 40. And the flag was back at the 50-yard line. Vince Joy, the referee for today's game, will give us the first. Don't know what this call is yet. Everybody knew the other one was the first penalty of the game was a delay of game.
Holding. Offense, number 9. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
So it's holding against Calabro from the spot. That was the 50-yard line. Ball will be back at the 40. They'll repeat first down. It'll be 1st and 15. But before that happens and RPI gets to the line, the first quarter will expire here in Troy. After 15 minutes are in the books, the score is RPI 10 and Buffalo State nothing.
I'd like to thank the following sponsors: Moe's, GE, Subway, The Hilton Garden, Rensselaer Honda, Domino's.
So administrative, Jerry Boyes is the head coach for Buffalo State, coming into this game 0-2. No conference games yet. I mentioned that earlier. They start conference play their next game next week. And Ralph Izernia for RPI is the head coach for RPI. RPI coming in 3-0, ranked 19th or 20th in the nation, depending on your poll of choice. And again, RPI with no conference record as yet. They go into conference play 2 weeks from today when they go down to Ithaca to play Ithaca College. Only out-of-town score we have for you at the moment in the first, late in the first, out in Massachusetts, Endicott leads Hobart 10-0. I think it's a bit of a surprise for most people. I think the Hobart team this year is a big question mark. They got shellacked by Brockport earlier in the season, and how good or how bad is Hobart, I think, is a question. That has probably been the most consistent program in the Liberty League over the last 15 years. And it's possible they were having a down year. Teams have switched sides. It'll be RPI going right to left. Buffalo State left to right across your radio dial here in quarter number 2. 10-0 RPI leads after 15 minutes. And on 1st and 15, not much there for RPI.
Carried by 36, Joe Scaglione.
Scaglione on the carry. Delore,
96, Andrew
Delore, on the tackle for Buffalo State, takes Scaglione down at the 40-yard line for no gain. 2nd down and 15 for RPI. Engineers are back at their own 40-yard line. Scaglione stays in as the running back. Marinopoulos the QB. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right for RPI. Marinopoulos wants to throw on 2nd down, puts it up in the air. He's got a man, doesn't have the ball. And if he's got it, Calabro, he's got it at the 25 for Buffalo State, and he does. In double coverage, Calabro comes down with the ball, or they'll have him down at the 27-yard line, and I'm not sure how he caught that. He had 2 players all over him, and somehow that ball just got to him, and he held on to it. So it's 1st and 10 RPI at the 27 of Buffalo State. 14 to go here in the first half. RPI 10, Buffalo State nothing. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right for RPI. Scaglione in the backfield, fakes the handoff to him. Throw that's complete to Avery. Avery breaks one tackle to the 20. Avery is down to the 18-yard line, almost a first down.
Inside the 20-yard line, tackled there by 49.
That is Tommy Avery, brother of former RPI quarterback, or a former quarterback from RPI. Marinopoulos on 2nd and 1, looks to throw. That'll be complete. That'll be a first down to Avery, and he is out around the 14.
Out of bounds inside the 15-yard line, tackled there by 27, Gino Bonadura.
RPI snapping the ball quickly to put pressure on Buffalo State. 13:20 to go here in the first half. 10-0 RPI leads. Engineers have it 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line at Buffalo State. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Scaglione is the running back for RPI. Engineers pause, look over to the sideline. Play clock is down to 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and RPI snaps the ball. Marinopoulos looking in the corner, and the receiver, the defender had a piece of the jersey. That was Vinnie McDonald, the intended receiver. The crowd kind of wanted to call on that, but there won't be one. And noticeably, McDonald just walks away, doesn't really say anything. So I don't think he felt it was a foul either. Second and 10 for RPI. Ball's at the 13-yard line. Marinopoulos out of the shotgun. Cella is back in as the running back for RPI. Receivers are all to the right this time. Also, there's a tight end on the left. This will be a handoff, and Law's got it to the 10, to the 5, and Law weaves his way through, and Law's in for a 13-yard touchdown run, and RPI leads 16-0. Christian on to try the extra point. Snap, spots down, kick is up, and the kick is no good. Missed it to the left. So there's 12:40 to go here in the first half. With that miss on the extra point, it stays RPI 16, Buffalo State nothing.
Men's hockey opens their season with an exhibition game on Sunday, October 7th, against the University of Prince Edward.
Kicking was a little rough for RPI last weekend. Miss on the extra point there as RPI scored on all 3 of their possessions today. Touchdown, field goal, and then touchdown to make it a 16-0 lead with 12:40 to go in the first half. For Buffalo State, I think that touchdown run epitomized a lot of their problems because there was poor tackling. They had the opportunity to get Law at the line of scrimmage, didn't, and once Law broke free, the players in the secondary for Buffalo State were too far away to make a play on him, and he was into the end zone. And again, that goes back to the stat I brought up in the pregame where the leading tackler by far for Buffalo State today is a safety. Not one of the linemen, one of the safeties is leading. And that's because too many people are making their way through the line without being tackled. And that's forcing the people in the backfield for Buffalo State to make those tackles. Christian with another short kick. And that's bouncing around, and RPI touched it. It goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line. It hit off a Buffalo State player, then it hit off an RPI player, and it's out at the 33, and that will be Buffalo State's ball.
Buffalo State, 33-yard line.
RPI had a chance on that short kick to recover. It looked to me like that was Omar Robinson who was up front for Buffalo State. He went back and he didn't field it cleanly. It went off him. Not that it would have mattered. It was already far enough beyond the 10 yards that RPI could have recovered. But if Robinson has the first chance to get the ball, he needs to take that chance and get a hold of it before RPI has a chance to go in and grab it. 1st and 10 for Buffalo State at their own 33, down by 16 points in the first half. Pass that is complete to the 42-yard line, pulled down by Everett.
Pass is complete to number 7.
Has it on the tackle for RPI at the 42. That's a 9-yard completion for Buffalo State.
2nd down and 1.
Torillo, QB for Buffalo State. Second down and 1. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Fakes the handoff, throws in the flat. That is complete. 45-yard line. That'll be a first down. Jackson on the reception. Gets right around the 45-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Hoggard on the tackle for RPI there. Buffalo State with a 1st and 10 at their own 45. 11:50 to go here in quarter number 2, half number 1. RPI 16, Buffalo State nothing. Ball to 45, 4 wideouts for Buffalo State. They'll fake the handoff. Ball is batted away. Hoggard got a hand on that one, knocked it away, and it goes incomplete. The disparity through 1 quarter, RPI total yards 148, Buffalo State 34. And those rushing yards for RPI, 80 as compared to 14 for Buffalo State. That's 6 of 14 for Buffalo State through 1 quarter. RPI was 15 for 80. Nicocello leading with 41 yards on the ground, which is more than Buffalo State was able to put together. Second down and 10 for the Bengals at their own 45-yard line, trailing by 16. Torillo throws. That is complete to the RPI side of the field. Grabbed by Everett, and he is out at the 46 of RPI. It'll be a 3rd down and 1 for the Bengals.
3rd down and 1.
Third and 1, Buffalo State at the RPI 46. Three receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Bailey is in the backfield now. Bailey takes a handoff, can't find anything up the middle, goes to the left, he's free, he's got a first down, and Bailey makes it to the 34 of RPI, and that'll be a first down for Buffalo State.
Martin Bailey gains to the RPI 34-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Bengals.
11:15 to go here, first half. 16-0, RPI leads. Watanabe was on that tackle for RPI. Buffalo State, 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Bailey was in the backfield. They'll throw in the flat to the 35, breaking 1 tackle, and now getting hit and brought down is Rutledge. He stopped at the 32-yard line. Sadak on the tackle for RPI.
Gain is to the 32-yard line, 2nd down and 8.
Ball at the 32 for a 2nd down and 8 for Buffalo State. They'll put 3 receivers on the long side, that's the left. 1 on the short side. Bailey stays in the backfield. Torillo out of the shotgun. Going to roll left now, delayed handoff to Bailey. Bailey takes it to the 35, to the 30, and Sutter steps and is stopped at the 30-yard line.
Ball carried by Bailey.
Looked like a longer gain than it was because he ran more along the line of scrimmage than up and down field. Makes it 3rd and 6 for Buffalo State. Under 10 to go here, first half. 16-0, RPI leads. Four wide receiver formation again for Torillo. Bailey is his running back. 3rd and 6. Torillo drops back, looks to throw, doesn't see anything downfield, pointing out some players, now throws, and it was intended for Everett, but there was no way Everett was going to get it. He was literally standing right near the sideline, and the ball was thrown in front of him, and he was looking to the sideline. There was no way he could grab that and stay inbounds. And that makes it 4th down for Buffalo State. Through 1 quarter, Buffalo State was 1 of 5 in 3rd and 4th down conversions. They are trying for 1 here. 4th and 6 at the RPI 30-yard line. Torillo out of the shotgun. Looks left, puts the ball up in the air along the sidelines, and is that caught? Complete? Yes, it is complete for a first down to Everett at the 11-10. They're going to put the ball down at the 10. So Everett along the sideline, goes up, comes down inbounds. He fell on his back basically. Inbounds at the 10-yard line. And it'll be, is it first and goal or first and... No, it's first and goal. They are dropping the yard markers. It is first and goal at the 10-yard line. 9:10 to go here in quarter number 2. RPI 16, Buffalo State nothing. Bailey in the backfield along with Torillo. One receiver left, 3 to the right. Handoff goes to Bailey, avoids one tackle, now gets caught by the legs, and Watanabe puts him down on the ground at the line of scrimmage. That's a no-gainer for Buffalo State.
No gain on the play, second and goal.
Maybe actually lost a yard on that one. Second and goal at the 10 for the Bengals. Bailey directly behind Torillo. 2 receivers to the left. Torillo keeps it. Now he'll pitch to Bailey. Bailey's got it at the 15. Bailey at the 10. And Bailey's out of bounds someplace between the 10 and the 5. Where do they put him out? They'll put him out at the 8. So a pickup of 2 for Bailey. He was trying to dance along the sidelines, but he stepped out at the 8-yard line. 3rd and goal at the 8. Buffalo State switching personnel, 15 seconds on the play clock. 3 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Torillo looks to throw, doesn't see anything downfield, starts to run with the ball to the 10. Torillo stopped at the 6.
Torillo on the carry.
Couldn't find anybody free downfield.
Hogard.
Hoggard on the carry, or pardon me, on the tackle for RPI at the 6-yard line, and that makes it 4th and goal at the 6 for Buffalo State. They are keeping the offense out there, trailing by 16 in the first quarter. They're going to need touchdowns at some point. 4th and goal at the 6 for Buffalo State. Torillo takes it out of the snap, out of the shotgun, throws towards the end zone and is caught. And that is, yes, a touchdown to Everett in the corner. There was a fight for the ball. Gutowski and Everett in the corner. Everett, even if it's a tie, that goes to Everett, and Buffalo State is on the board. They pick up 6 on the 6-yard touchdown pass. Extra point is pending.
Justin Sinicelli to attempt the point after.
Simon Selly on to try the extra point for Buffalo State. The kick is up and good.
Kick is good. 6:57 remaining in the first half to score. RPI 16.
So it's 16-7 in RPI's favor with 6:57 to go in this first half. That was the 4th possession for Buffalo State in today's game. Their first score. RPI has had 3 possessions and they have put up points every time they have had the ball. Buffalo State coming out on defense as RPI is going to get the ball. The line up front is Cliff Brown, Andrew Delore, Trey Pitts, and E.C. Wiegand. The linebackers are Paul Brinkle, Adam Zwerlein, and Griffin Mack. The safeties are Gino Bonagura and Joshua Benjamin, and the cornerbacks are Darren Wesley and Obi New. Carr kicks the ball away for Buffalo State, and that goes out of bounds. That was not a good kick.
Kickoff is out of bounds at the 8-yard line.
RPI, no opportunity to return there. Ball will be at the 35. That's a Basically, it's 30 yards from the kick. Ball is kicked off at the 35, and it goes to RPI's 35. The Engineers start out there 1st and 10. RPI has started between the 30 and 35 in all 4 drives today. The previous 3 have resulted in scores. Engineers 1st and 10 at their own 35, up 16-7. Handoff on 1st down, big hole for the Engineers. To the 40 of Buffalo State, Cella to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, 5, and Cella is in for the touchdown. No flags. That's a 65-yard run by Nick Cella on 1st and 10. First play from scrimmage after the kickoff, and RPI leads 22-7. Christian on the try the extra point. That's demoralizing if you're Buffalo State. You go down, you get the touchdown, and then you immediately give it back up again. Kick is good for Christian, so there's 6:47 to go here in the first half, and RPI has a 23-7 lead on Buffalo State. RPI's defense coming out. Let's give you those players. Machi Conquo, Rohan Sherian-Ash, Antonio Rogliano, and Cole Valinati are the line up front. The linebackers are Jake Hoggard, Jack Fallon, and John Sadak. The cornerbacks are Anthony Gallo and DJ Stefanski, and the safeties are Luke Watanabe and Joey Katowski. It's overcast here in Troy. It's probably in the 70s. It's a comfortable football day, unlike last week at Utica, which was unseasonably warm and uncomfortable. We're running the interview we had with RPI engineer head coach Ralph Izerni during halftime, and he even talked about the weather last week, and some players had cramping problems, both sides, RPI and Utica, due to the heat. It's a much cooler day today as RPI goes for another short kick. And that one is inbounds, touches out of bounds. There's a pile on the far side in front of the Bengals bench. I don't think anybody had possession of it before either the ball or somebody who touched the ball was out of bounds. So we'll let the officials sort this one out. There's also a flag on the play, which I assume is the ball being kicked out of bounds at this point. Vince Joy, the referee, will give us a call shortly.
Against the kicking team, 5-yard penalty is added on to the out-of-bounds spot. 1st down, Buffalo State.
Okay, so it won't be the 30 yards because it was within 30 yards, so it's 5 yards from the out-of-bounds spot, which is the 41. The ball goes to the 46, so Buffalo State starts out with good field position. Buffalo State has started out with better field position than RPI in today's game, on average. But RPI has a 23-7 lead over the Bengals. 6:45 to go here in the first half. Cirillo out of the shotgun. Looks to throw, can't find anybody downfield. Now throws the ball, intercepted by the Engineers. Gutowski has it at the 40, to the 50, stays on his feet to the 40. Gets hit from behind, loses the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be RPI's ball in the Buffalo State side of the field. Gutowski with the interception, brings it back to the 26 or thereabouts. Ball's out at the 27. That's where they're spotted. We also have an injured Buffalo State player on the field. That's out around the 50-yard line. That might be Everett, the wide receiver for Buffalo State. So we'll have an official timeout for an injured player. Gutowski with the INT returns it to the Buffalo State 32-yard line. No, 27-yard line. 27-yard line, pardon me. And it'll be 1st and 10 RPI at that point. That's the first turnover of today's game. 6:33 to go here in the first half. RPI leads 23-7 over Buffalo State.
After the interception, holding,
So Buffalo State was called for holding before the interception. Obviously, with the turnover, RPI declined that penalty. And the Engineers come out at offense at the Buffalo State 27-yard line. Again, first turnover of the game. The Katowski interception. Everybody's ready. Engineers 1st and 10 at the Buffalo State 27. Marinopoulos throws end zone, looking for Ackerman. He's got it. That's a touchdown for RPI. Engineers lead 29-7. Christian on to try the extra point. Snap, spots down, the kick is up, kick is good. 32-7, RPI leads with 6:26 to go in the first half, and that's RPI with 14 points in 21 seconds. That sequence of events was Buffalo State scored their first points of the game. RPI then got the ball at the 35, kick went out of bounds. Chella on first down runs it into the end zone. RPI kicks off, Buffalo State, ball goes out of bounds. Buffalo State, their first play from scrimmage intercepted, and then RPI's first play from scrimmage after that is a 27-yard pass reception. Marinopoulos throwing it to Ackerman in the end zone. And so in a 21-second span, RPI has put up 14 points here in quarter number 2. You can watch Buffalo State coming out right now, and those are some players whose body language is not positive right now. Let's put it that way. Buffalo State coming in 0-2. If you remember last year's game, RPI was held scoreless in the second half against Buffalo State. RPI did lead at halftime. Christian on to kick the ball away. Another short kick. This is taken at the 40-yard line. That was a fair catch for Buffalo State. That was Robinson, who had trouble with an earlier kick. He opted to take a fair catch, which is allowed. And Buffalo has it at their own 40-yard line. The Bengals have started out with decent field position today. They've not been back deep in their own territory. They've been between the 33 and the 47. I mean, the field position hasn't been bad for Buffalo State. They just have trouble moving the ball. First and 10 for the Bengals at the 40-yard line. Cirillo fakes the handoff, rolls left, throws. Everett along the sidelines over his head, and it's incomplete. Everett was trying to time that one. But the ball was well overthrown, and there's nothing he can do about that. Second down and 10 for Buffalo State at their own 40-yard line. This will be a pitch. Bailey gets it. He's got a man in front of him. Bailey runs towards the sidelines, and Bailey runs out of bounds. Womble was the person who got in front of him. Rogliano ended up pushing him out of bounds, but it was Womble who was the person who blocked any chance for Bailey to head downfield. Third and a little over 10 now for Buffalo State inside their own 40. 32-7, RPI leads Buffalo State here in Troy. Torello, pardon me, drops back, looks to throw, finally dishes it off short to Bailey. Bailey gets away from one man, and he's got a first down. Sadek had a chance at him at the 48. Doesn't make the tackle, and Bailey's across the 50 to the RPI 49, and that'll be a first down for Buffalo State. Also an injured player on the field again for Buffalo State. So we'll have an official timeout on the field. 5:32 to go here in quarter number 2. RPI 30, Buffalo State 7. Is that? Nope, that is not Torello, the quarterback. That is one of the linemen. That's actually the center. Andrew Sisson is the injured player for Buffalo State, so he will be attended to by the staff here, the Buffalo State staff out on the field. Out of town, Endicott has a 17-7 lead on Hobart in the second quarter. Emory and Henry leads Rochester 14-0 at the end of one. The Curry at Union game is just about to get underway over in Schenectady, and Ithaca is at St. John Fisher for a 2 p.m. start later today. And since that game's about ready to start at Schenectady, time to remind you you're listening to WRPI Troy with Engineer Football from the East Campus Stadium in Troy, New York. Kirsten on the call for you today. We have 5:32 to go in the first half. RPI leads Buffalo State 30-7. And a reminder, our interview with Ralph Isernia, head coach of RPI, will be coming up during halftime. Ball at the 49 of RPI. Buffalo State 1st and 10. Their 6th possession of the game. Turned it over in downs, punted twice, had a touchdown, and then had an interception. The interception was their last possession. Forward wide receiver formation, 3 on the right for Torello. Torello pump fakes, now throws it up in the air along the sidelines, and that is well out of bounds again. Everett was the intended receiver. He's having a lot of bad luck along the sidelines. The passes are not on target, and he is not tall enough to get to them, and in fact nobody is. Nobody is tall enough to get to the passes that he's trying to get to along the sidelines. Ball back at the 49 for a 2nd and 10 for Buffalo State. Bengals set, and he'll snap the ball. Delayed handoff. Tied up in the backfield, getting free, now getting down to the 46-yard line was Tonic. So Tonic is in the backfield instead of Bailey right now. Tonic is listed as the starter, but Bailey has seen more action today. 3rd down and call it 7 at the 46-yard line for the Bengals. Engineers look like they'll only put 3 up front right now. Torello throws on 3rd down. That is complete to the 30-yard line. That'll be a first down. Rutledge on the reception for Buffalo State. Stefanski on the tackle for RPI at the 30. That'll be a Buffalo State first down. 4:25 to go here in the first half. RPI 30, Buffalo State 7. Bengals have it 1st and 10 at their own 30. Torello out of the shotgun. Throws, quick pass, that's complete to the 25-yard line, and a couple of more yards after that for Gregory. That's Vinny Gregory, a senior for Buffalo State on the reception. He gets down to the 21. Second down and 1 after a gain of 9. Buffalo State offense playing better, well, not the previous drive when they were intercepted, but before that when they scored, and then on this drive. Those are the 2 best drives they've had today. Handoff goes to Tonic, and he may have a first down on the forward progress. He gets pushed back a few yards, but before he hit the pile, he ended up in the near the 20-yard line, where they mark him short of the 20-yard line. He's in between the 20 and the 21. It'll be 3rd down and short for Buffalo State. Sadak was leading the charge for RPI on defense on that play. Buffalo State to the line on 3rd down and 1. Cirillo throws. That is complete, and that'll be a 1st down on the far side of the field as it goes to Rutledge. Off the left side of the Buffalo State line, gets to the 18. Again, a lot of running, not a lot of yards, but it's enough to move the chains and keep this drive in progress for Buffalo State. 1st and 10, Buffalo State at the 18 of RPI. RPI 30, Buffalo State 7 with 2.5 to go here in the first half. Single receiver left, 2 right, man in the slot to the right. And the handoff goes to Tonic, and Tonic runs straight ahead, takes some of the engineers with him, and now gets pushed back. They'll say the forward progress. He was stopped at the 10-yard line on the forward progress. A lot of numbers out there for RPI. Gutowski was the first person I saw.
Tackled by Gutowski.
That's what Val Shipley, the PA announcer, just said. Gutowski on the tackle for RPI. Ball's at the 10, under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. RPI pep band here, cheerleaders are here. Reasonable crowd for a late September game. Buffalo State fans are on the opposite side of the field. They have made their presence known as well. Cirillo has trouble with the snap, pulls it down, now throws in the pass. That is down. Rutledge caught the ball, then slipped, and his knee touched, and that's down in College, back at the 12-yard line.
Loss on the play.
That's going to cost them about 2 yards on that play.
Loss of 1 on the play.
Loss of 1, I'll say. So it'll be 3rd down and about 3. 3rd down 3, 3rd down 4, take your pick. 1 minute to go here in the first half. RPI 30, Buffalo State 7. Buffalo State 3rd down and about 3 around the RPI 11-yard line. Cirillo is looking left, throws the ball. That is complete, and immediately out of bounds is Rutledge. Where is he out? They have him out at the 9. They needed to get to the 8.
Short of the first down, it will be 4
So it's a yard short of a first down for Buffalo State. Buffalo State will call a timeout to think this one over. 4th and short. They'll have 2 timeouts left after this. But they trail by 23.
Fans would like to remind you Ben & Jerry's is located inside the student.
Last year out in Buffalo, this was a game RPI led at the half. It did not score in the second half. It ended up losing the game to the Bengals. I don't think if you're a Buffalo State, you can go to that well again expecting to shut RPI out in the second half. They need to get some points. They're down by 3 scores as we're nearing halftime. They just need a yard. Easier said than done in many cases. Offense is going back out there. Cirillo is taking his offense out there. Are they going to try to draw RPI offside? Just 43.8 seconds left in the half. 4th down and 1. Buffalo State at the RPI 9. They'll snap the ball. Tonic on the give, and he turns it over on down. Tonic is tackled behind the line of scrimmage, and that turns the ball over on downs to RPI. That is Hazard, who got into the backfield and makes the tackle on Tonic. And the loss of yards gives RPI the ball with 40.4 seconds left in the half. RPI doesn't have to run a full set of plays. There are 2 timeouts for Buffalo State, but with only 40.4 seconds left on the clock, RPI could take knees and end the half. They are not going to do that right now. They're going to run the ball. First down straight ahead, out to the 14-yard line. Cella on the carry for RPI. RPI is in no rush to run a play, and Buffalo State is not trying to stop the clock here. RPI does not have to run another play. We're well under 40 seconds by the time that play ended. They are giving the ball to Vince Joy, the referee, with 10 seconds to go, and both teams are going to walk off the field here. Head into the locker room, and it's RPI 30 and Buffalo State 7 as the first half has expired in Troy. If you're RPI, it doesn't get a whole lot better than this. RPI had 6 possessions in that first half. And we're going to ignore that last possession because RPI was not trying to get it downfield. All the possessions that RPI was trying to move the ball downfield, they got scores. 4 touchdowns, 1 field goal. There's a mixed extra point, which is why it's only RPI 30 points instead of 31. That's about as efficient as you're going to get. You go into the locker room and you can't complain much about what's happened there. On defense, what have they done? Well, they intercepted Buffalo State, turned that into a score. Twice had Buffalo State turn the ball over on downs. Once was around the 34 of RPI. The last one was inside the red zone, which prevented Buffalo State from getting a score before the half ended. So your defense has only given up 7 points, gotten an INT, and has stopped Buffalo State twice on 4th down. If you're RPI going to the locker room, there's a lot to be positive of in today's game. Probably the best 30 minutes RPI has played so far this season. It's been solid all the way through for RPI, and if you're Buffalo State, this is an 0-2 team that has 30 minutes to fix it before they go to 0-3. So very different locker rooms right now for both of these teams as they go in there. We're going to take a break. We'll come back shortly with the interview that Bob Conway did with RPI engineer head coach Ralph Isernia. That's coming up during halftime. The score here after one half of play, it is RPI 30 and Buffalo State 7. And you're listening to live coverage of Engineer football on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. I'm here at the East Campus Stadium on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York. Halftime score is RPI 30 and Buffalo State 7. And now it's time for the interview that my colleague Bob Conway did with RPI engineer head coach Ralph Izernia.
I'm here with Coach Ralph Izernia. Why don't you tell the folks a little bit about that tough game last week?
Yeah, that was an exciting game to be a part of. It was, 3 overtimes. It was unseasonably hot out there in Utica. It was, guys were. We had some guys going down with some cramping issues and stuff like that, and I know that Utica did. But 2 real good teams, battling. And it was obviously nice to come up on top. And one of the things we were telling our guys was just one more play, just make one more play, make one more play. So when they were lining up for that field goal at the end, we had really good push. I know Rohan got his hands on that and blocked that kick to send it into overtime, and then. In overtime, it was going back and forth about making plays, and they did a really good job in stopping us and making us kick for points, and we were doing the same on defense. And just so happened, we made one more kick, and then on defense, we forced them to throw it, put the ball up in the air, and DJ Stefanski came down with it. But great effort, great resiliency by our team. Very proud of them.
Marinopolis fumbled the ball in the end zone, and they scored. We hadn't really moved the ball on a good drive since the first drive of the game. And I said right after that, I would really like to see him lead the team right up the field and get that back. Sure enough, he did.
Yeah, that was...
It wasn't just him, but...
Right. And that was... that's something that one of the things that we chart every game. We talk about bounce back plays, whether it's on offense or defense. If it's a negative play that goes against you, the very next play, are you able to bounce back and offensively gain some yards or defensively make a stop? And we really consider that after looking back on it, that was a bounce back drive. That was a drive that we went down. I think it was 83 yards, went down and scored. And it was it was a great drive. There were a lot of components to that drive that extended it. I know George made a good read, and Calabro made a nice catch. George had a run for a first down, and it was a good time-consuming drive. And then put it in from 21 yards out with Dylan Burnett with a really a heck of a run, breaking a couple of tackles and keeping his balance going into the end zone. So there was a lot of contributions on that drive, and it was I think it's indicative of the type of guys we have and the culture we have on this team.
Are you happy with the offense and the defense? I'm sure you always say we've got a ways to go, but in general, are you happy with both sides of the ball? Yeah,
there's some things that I like what we're doing, defensively, and we've got good fits on the defensive line with the linebackers and D-line, and trying to make a team one-dimensional and put them in a long yard situation and force them to throw the football. I think we're getting some good pass rush, good pressure on the quarterback, and in the back end, we're doing a good job covering and coming up with the ball when it's put up in the air. Offensively, there's one or two things, every play that can either make or break a play for you, and what we need to do is offensively is a little bit more consistency, and we want to see that from everyone from the quarterback, the running backs, the line, and also from the wide receivers is to put everything together. I don't think we've played a complete game on all three sides, all three phases, and that's been our emphasis this week is really taking care of us and what we do, and everyone do their job. So that we can go out there and put a complete game together.
We had a lot of third and longs Saturday, but I think the team we played against was pretty darn good.
They are, and that's that's what I was trying to tell everyone. The national rankings and the polls and the records from last year. The records from last year, they don't matter. They don't carry over to this year. And that was a 2-0 football team, and they were 2-0 for good reason. Is that they were big on the lines and physical, and they were running to the football and very athletic in their skill positions, and they made plays. So, it's not about style points or anything like that. Getting a win against a very good team like that, really says something about our team's character. And it's not, we don't go out and try to play, some weak teams and have a cupcake schedule. I mean, these 3 games, and then even into this 4th game coming up, this week with Buffalo State, you've got teams that really pose some problems for you, and it really gets you ready for your conference opponents.
And the conference is going to be tough this year too.
It is every year. It is every year, and it doesn't matter who you're playing. You're going to get everyone's best every week out. So, like I said before, we've got to take care of our own business and play the way that we're capable of.
Okay, Coach. Tell me a little bit about Buffalo State on both sides of the ball. What do they like to do on offense?
Yeah, they're a team that's going to be multiple offensively. They're going to get into a bunch of different formations. They do feature a running back who's actually a local kid from Colony. He's a bigger type back that hits the hole real hard. I think by nature they want to be a running team, which will open up some of their passes downfield. They've got 2 really good receivers in Rutledge and Jordan Everett. I think they're 2 of the fastest combination of receivers that we're going to see all year long. And they're really good. They can take the top off the coverage, and so I think you'll see, they'll try to get some shots to them downfield, either in drop back or to play action pass game. So, we've got to stay over the top and get a good pass rush on the quarterback.
Speaking of the quarterback, is he drop back or is option? What is he?
They do run a little bit of option. He's a good athlete. He can run. He can run. I think he would primarily like to stay in the pocket, but if something breaks down, he's going to try to make a play with his legs. He really trusts the guys on the outside to go up and catch the football for him. So, offensively, their offense is they're good. They're sound. They're going to be multiple, and they're going to try to find a way to get the ball to those guys that make plays for them.
They match up size with us well?
Yeah, I think so. I think they may be a little bit bigger on the offensive line, a little bit bigger than our defensive line. I think our defense, and I've said it all year, I think our defense is fast. I think we're fast at all 3 levels. We run to the football real well. We get off blocks real well. So that's going to be a key thing to watch on Saturday is the battle on the lines on both sides of football, on the offensive line and also on our defensive line. We got to win the line of scrimmage battle. If we can win the line of scrimmage battle, then it's going to put us in good shape, to make plays down the field.
Okay, how about their special teams and kicking?
They have the 2 receivers are their kick returners and punt returners, and they are dynamic. And we can't allow them to get the ball in space and to make plays. We've got to. We've got to take away their airspace. We've got to take away, their ability to juke and get up to full speed, and our guys need to corral them and make plays. They've had good field position in a lot of their games because those guys are dynamic and they can tilt the field for you.
It makes such a difference. I thought Utica did a very good job with our kick returner, who was one of the tops in the league.
Right.
But we didn't get the field position because they covered it so well.
Yeah, and I think
it wasn't his fault.
No, it's not. And I think with the game last week, it turned into the second half. Really turned into a field position battle.
Yes.
If a team had 4th and 4 around the 50-yard line, they were punting it, and their punter was very good. He had excellent hang time, and he was putting the ball inside the 20-yard line. And now that makes the offense start with a long field. And we were trying to do the same thing with them and have them play that long field. So there were a lot of punts in that second half, and that really tilted the field and made the offensives play with their backs against their goal line.
What kind of effort do they give from the field goal range?
They've got a good kicker. And I'm not sure if I would see them probably going for some fourth downs. If it's maybe a little bit outside the range, maybe around 35, 40 yards, something like that, put themselves in some 4-down territory. That's I think that's probably going to be their their personality for this game.
Well, thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks, Bob.
And that was our interview with RPI head coach Ralph Izernia. Thanks to Bob Conway and coach for taking some time to do that. We will take a break, and then we'll come back with the second half of action here from the East Campus Stadium. The score after one half, it is RPI 30 and Buffalo State 7. And you're listening to live coverage of Engineer football on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. Welcome back to the East Campus Stadium on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York, as we are nearing the start of half number 2 in today's non-conference football action, RPI versus Buffalo State. And the score after one half, it is RPI 30 and Buffalo State 7. My name is Kurt Stutt, flying solo for you today right here on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy. Buffalo State getting ready to kick off to start out this second half of play. They will be going left to right, RPI right to left across your radio dial in quarter number 3. Carr boots the ball away as RPI takes it at the 5-yard line, 10, 15, to the 20, and maybe out to the 25, a little bit beyond the 25-yard line. And we've got some pushing and shoving afterwards as on the return for RPI. That was Rory Allen on the return for RPI. Took some umbrage at the tackle from Buffalo State. There will be no fouls on that play, and RPI starts out the second half with the ball at their own 26-yard line, up by 23 points. The only possession RPI did not score on in half number 1 was the one at the very end of the half when RPI basically wasn't trying to score. So the offense for RPI very efficient in today's game as they start out 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line. And for RPI, this will be a keeper as it was a direct snap to Bryce Todd. Todd in at the quarterback position right now instead of Marinopoulos, and that direct snap goes out to the 31-yard line for the Engineers.
Ball carried by 8, Bryce Todd. Gain 5, 2nd and 5.
Marinopoulos now moves into the quarterback position. He's got Cella with him as the running back. Cella in that first half with 110 yards rushing. The majority of that coming off a 65-yard touchdown run. Cella takes it on second down, breaks a couple of tackles to the 35. Cella's got a first down as he makes it out to about the 38. First and 10, RPI at their own 38. Minute gone by here, half number 2, RPI 30, Buffalo State 7.
At their own 37-yard line.
Engineers with 304 total yards of offense in that first half, 151 only for Buffalo State. And there's a lot of stats that'll show you the story of the game so far. 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left for Buffalo State. And the handoff goes to Cella. Cella trying to weave his way through, breaks a couple of tackles, falls on his back, and he falls forward to about the 44.5-yard line. What looked like was going to be maybe a short gain turns out to be 6+ for RPI on that first down. Makes it 2nd down and 4 for the Engineers. RPI was quickly to the line, but now they'll look over to the sidelines. Now they'll get back into position. 2nd and 4, RPI at their own 46. Marinopoulos with time, throws, that is complete. That'll be a first down, and Calabro falls down. He got hit, and I thought he might have maintained his balance around the 39. He might have been able to, but then he ends up falling down, and that down is down in college hockey, or pardon me, college football. And this is coming back because there's a flag back in the RPI backfield, and this is coming back. It looks like a hold. Yes, there's a holding call against RPI, so that negates the completion to Calabro. They'll mark off the yardage. Other interesting stats from the first half. Buffalo State 7 of 15 on 3rd and 4th down conversions. RPI 3 of 4, and in fact didn't go for it on any 4th downs. Those are all 3rd down opportunities. And your stat that shows you the stat may not mean as much as it means. Think it means possession time, 18:07 for Buffalo State, 11:53 for RPI, even though RPI has outscored Buffalo State by over 4 times. Buffalo State's had more possession, but they haven't been able to do much with it. RPI, a couple of quick strikes. The 65-yard run by Cella was on the first play from scrimmage on a possession, and the Ackerman 27-yard pass from Marinopoulos also on the first play from scrimmage on another drive. So 2 drives took up less than 10 seconds to get RPI in that situation 14 points if you include the extra points. While I've been talking, the officials have been trying to square away this holding penalty against RPI. Ball will go back to the 34-yard line. It's from the point 44. Actually, it's 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. I think they were discussing whether the hold was ahead of the line of scrimmage or at or behind the line of scrimmage. I think that's what their conference was about. Ball goes back to the 34-yard line, 2nd and 14 for RPI. First possession of the second half. Todd goes in motion for the Engineers. Marinopoulos was going to throw right near where Todd was. Now he's going to go along the sidelines right, and that is a flag on the play. This could be offensive pass interference. The ball was knocked down by the defender, but it looked to me like the intended receiver along that sideline is the one who actually committed the foul. Referee wants a conference on this. The referee is Vince Joy today. He wants a conference on this. Oh, now he's going to tell us what it is.
Defense, number 35, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Okay, it's defensive pass interference. And if I'm Buffalo State, I can see where maybe there's an argument, or maybe this should have gone both ways, because I thought at the very end the defender was being held up by the intended receiver. But instead, they're calling this against Buffalo State, and the ball goes out to the 49 of RPI for an automatic first down. 12:25 to go in the third quarter. RPI 30, Buffalo State 7. We'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, and that includes WRPI's coverage of Engineer football, hockey, and baseball. 1st and 10 Engineers at their own 49-yard line after the pass interference call. Cella on the carry. Escapes one man. I thought he was going to have him, and now he's going to get pushed down at the 44. That is New, Obi New on the tackle for Buffalo State, but picks up a 7 for RPI. And that sets up a 2nd and 3. Replacement at running back. Scaglione is in there now instead of Cella, as RPI is on Buffalo State's side of the field. Ackerman's alone on the right. Two receivers on, or alone on the left. Two receivers on the right. Now they'll send Todd in motion to the left. The handoff goes to Scaglione. Scaglione's got a hole, big hole, to the 30. Scaglione to the 25, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. He is brought down from behind, and what is almost certainly a horse collar tackle here inside the 5-yard line. Won't be a lot of yards for RPI, as Delmont was on the tackle for Buffalo State. Looking at the replay now, and looks like he's dragged down by the shoulder pads.
Foul. Horse collar. Defense, number 11. Half the distance from the end of the run. First down.
Okay, that's actually going to be Benjamin on the tackle for Buffalo State. That moves the ball to 2-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, RPI at the 2. RPI leads by 23 with 11.5 to go here in the third quarter. Handoff to Scaglione, and Scaglione has it, and is he in? He is in for the touchdown. RPI 36-7 with the lead now. Christian on to try the extra point. Snap spot, kick is up, and the kick is good. 11:22 left to go here, third quarter of play. RPI now has a 37-7 lead on Buffalo State.
Reminder, women's hockey plays Carleton University tomorrow in an exhibition game. Stop by the fieldhouse, support your Engineers.
This puts more pressure on Buffalo State now, as they need to get back. If they want to get back in this, they need to start scoring now. Also, time to remind you that WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org, and you can pick up our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As long as we are sending something out over the ether of the air, we will provide it for you on that feed. That is WRPI.org.
First down will kick off for the Engineers. Back deep for the Bengals, number 4, Naz Jackson. And 2 Rutledge.
RPI to kick off again. They have been going short all the time. If you listen to the interview during halftime with the coach, he was concerned about putting the ball in the hands of the return men for Buffalo State. As a result, they have not gotten it. Another short kick taken at the 35-yard line to the 40 by one of the up men, and it'll be stopped at the 41-yard line. And this has only been kickoffs. RPI has not punted today. There have been no punt returns from Buffalo State because there have been no punts from RPI. The only time they didn't score was when the half ended. RPI was in possession when the first half ended. Other than that, every possession for RPI has ended in a score. 37-7, RPI leads. 11:18 to go here. Third quarter, Buffalo State with their first possession starting out at their own 41. And Buffalo State has started out between the 33 and the 47 today. That has not been bad field position for Buffalo State. They just have not been able to move the ball effectively. 2 receivers each side. Torillo throws, and he throws it behind his intended receiver, Everett, who is, I would call, the hard luck receiver so far today. He has been open, and the ball has just been off target, or he's been along the sidelines and the ball has been thrown beyond the point at which anybody could get to it. He is one of the go-to people for this Buffalo State team, and the ball just simply has not gotten to him much. He had 4 receptions for 44 yards in the first half, and the only touchdown for Buffalo State. But for a team that needs points, they need to get him the ball more often. Torillo on 2nd down and 10, rolling out to his right. Now he's going to run with the ball to the 40, to the 45, runs out of bounds at the 50, and they'll put him out at the 49 on the Buffalo State side of the field. That's 2 yards short of a first down.
49-yard line. Gain of 8. 3rd down and 2.
Other stats for RPI after one half. Marinopolis 7 of 9. RPI only throwing the ball 9 times, 142 yards for 2 touchdowns. That was Marinopolis. Torillo was 14 of 23 with 1 interception, 106 yards, and 1 touchdown. So a lot more efficiency for RPI running, a lot more efficiency for RPI passing. And that contributed to a 30-7 lead at halftime and a 37-7 lead now with 10:42 to go in the third quarter. 3rd down and 2, and ball was tipped. Ball was tipped. It goes incomplete. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage by Hoggard, and it goes incomplete on 3rd down, and now it's 4th and 2 for Buffalo State. Bengals are 0-2. This is not a conference game. Offense is staying out there. I agree with this call. This game is not going to make or break Buffalo State going into the NCAA tournament. 4th down and 2. Torillo wants to throw. Pass. That is complete. That'll be a first down as he gets it to Tonic coming out of the backfield. And Tonic is down at the 47 of RPI for a first down.
Gain is to the RPI 47-yard line. 1st and 10, Buffalo State.
Sadak on the tackle for RPI. As I was saying, if you lose this game by how much, it doesn't matter. You need points now. And a loss here doesn't determine their postseason fate because that's basically going to be determined by league games. 1st and 10, Buffalo State at the 47-yard line. 10 minutes to go here, third quarter. RPI leads by 30. And they fake the handoff. Under a lot of pressure is Torillo, and he is sacked back at the 40-yard line. Cherian Ash on the sack for RPI. Ball's all the way back to the Buffalo State 39. Torillo moves around a lot. Tough to get him in the backfield, but in that case, he dropped straight back. He really wanted to throw the ball, and he kept dropping back until finally he took a big loss on the play.
2nd and 24.
Second and 24 for Buffalo State. Torillo again under pressure, throws. That will be complete to Rutledge around the 40. Rutledge to the 45. Stopped now at the 47 by Gallo. That was Anthony Gallo on the tackle for RPI at the 47. That makes it 3rd and about 15 for Buffalo State.
Third down and 16.
Third and about 16 for Buffalo State. 4 wideout formation. Cirillo, delayed handoff. 45 to the 50 to the 45 of RPI to about the 44. Tonic on the run for Buffalo State. And now it's 4th and about 8. 4th and 8 at the RPI 45-yard line. Buffalo State offense looking over towards the sidelines. Offense will stay out there on 4th down and 8. RPI up by 30. Buffalo State needs points now. Cirillo throws sidelines, and he's ahead of his intended receiver. That was Rutledge. He was looking for Rutledge, and he threw it too far ahead of him. And on 4th down, for the 3rd time today, Buffalo State will turn the ball over on downs. RPI takes over at their own 45, their second best start for a drive today. Engineers 37, Bengals 7 with 8:01 to go here, 3rd quarter in Troy. RPI 1st and 10. Handoff on 1st down, gets about 2 yards out to the 47.
Tackled by Jason Taylor.
That was Law for RPI on the carry. Marinopoulos still in there at QB for RPI. Engineers look over to the sidelines on what is now a 2nd and 8. RPI ground game has been very effective today. I expect them to stay on the ground as much as possible now. And right as I say that, there goes the throw, and it's complete to the 40-yard line, and it'll be stopped at the 38. Law on the reception for RPI. Wesley on the tackle for Buffalo State. Ball spotted at the 37 for RPI on the Buffalo State side of the field. 7:20 to go here, 3rd quarter. RPI 37, Buffalo State 7. Engineers firmly in control of today's game. 8th drive for them. They have scored on 6 of the previous 7. This is a naked backfield. 2 receivers left, 3 to the right. Marinopoulos is alone in the backfield for RPI. RPI chewing up as much clock as possible. Marinopoulos puts the ball up in the air and overthrows everybody. The nearest, let's call Smith the intended receiver on that, and it was behind him and so far away from him that Smith never found the ball. He was looking back and he never saw it because it was so off target. So that's incomplete on 1st down for RPI at the 37-yard line. Scaglione goes into the backfield now for RPI and what is 2nd and 10. Ball to 37. 3 receivers right. 1 left. Handoff. Whoop, nope, Scaglione doesn't get the handoff. Pass is incomplete. That was Smith, was the intended receiver at about the 30-yard line. Falls incomplete. Clock stops with 6:46 to go here, 3rd quarter. As RPI has a 3rd and 10 from the 37. Was the same formation. Now Law goes from the slot back position to the backfield. Law takes the carry. Flag comes out as Law is stopped at the 33. 2 flags on the play. I would say this is holding against RPI. Referee is looking over to the Bengals sideline. What do they want to do? Do they want to take the penalty and make it 3rd and longer, or do they want to keep it at 4th and what would be 6 at about the 33-yard line? Those are the options.
Holding. Offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, 3rd down.
So the Bengals will back up the Engineers. They will take the penalty.
Holding penalty moves the ball back to the 47-yard line.
It'll be 3rd and 20 at the 47-yard line for RPI. Engineers leading by 30. Two receivers right, one left. Got a man in the slot on the left. That's Law. He now goes into the backfield. Law stays in the block. Marinopoulos wants to throw. Doesn't see anything downfield. Rolls out to his right. Marinopoulos, I don't know what was going on there. And the ball was almost intercepted by the Bengals. It goes out of bounds. I didn't think Marinopoulos got hit by anybody, but the ball came out as though it was hit, or though it was touched. But it goes incomplete along the far sideline. And it'll be 4th down and 20 for RPI. And this may be the first time RPI punts today. Moncrief is coming out to do the punting for RPI.
54 Zach Moncrief on the punt for the Engineers.
Everett and Rutledge are back for Buffalo State. Does RPI try to go end zone? Do they go sidelines? What's the plan here for the punt? Snap. Moncrief boots it, and he's booting it towards the sidelines, and it goes out of bounds around the 15. So again, RPI does not want the Buffalo State return man to boot the ball away. To be out at the 17-yard line, Buffalo State with their worst start for a drive in today's game. Back at their own 17. First punt by RPI gives Buffalo State possession. 6:07 to go here, 3rd quarter. RPI 37 and Buffalo State 7. Out of town, Emory and Henry has a 38-0 lead on Rochester at the half. Hobart is taking the lead on Endicott in the 3rd, 21-20. Buffalo State at their own 17, down by 30. Again, they need points. Handoff on 1st down. Well, nope, missed that one. And it's actually going to be taken by Maple, Tony Maple, who's in there at QB now for Buffalo State. So Torillo is out. Maple is in. That was a keeper. He didn't hand it off. He kept it himself. So Maple in at quarterback for Buffalo State. 4-receiver formation for him. Fakes the handoff on 1st down. Maple again keeps it himself, and he's going to get stopped short of the 25. He made it out to the 25 last time on the keeper. It was a gain of 8. And this time he stopped at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd down and about 2 for Buffalo State at the 25-yard line.
No gain on the play. 3rd down and 3.
Third down and about 2. They'll say 3 on the scoreboard. I say it's 2 looking at the yard markers. Again, changing quarterback. Maple in there for Buffalo State. Quick pass by Maple. That is complete, and that'll be a 1st down for Buffalo State out to the 38-yard line. Shitu on the reception.
To number 13, Farouk Shitu.
Ball to the 38 for Buffalo State, and that'll be a 1st down. 4:45 to go here, 3rd quarter. RPI 37, Buffalo State 7. 1st and 10 for the Bengals at their own 38. Maple takes the high snap, fakes the handoff, throws. That's complete to Rutledge. Rutledge, though, is grabbed by the leg almost immediately and doesn't have a chance to go anywhere. Gallo grabbed him as he got it in the flat, and it's actually a loss of about half a yard for Buffalo State.
Loss of 1 on the play, 2nd down and 11.
They'll put him back at the 32, so that is a loss of 1, as Al Shibley said. 2nd and 11 for the Bengals. Four receiver set for Maple, who is very tall, noticeably taller. Maple looks to throw, dishes it off. He's got a man clear on the near side, 45 to the 50, and falling down was Shitu at the 46-yard line. Probably disappointed with himself more than anything else because he was in the clear, he wasn't hit, he just happened to fall down, stumbled on the turf. It's the fake stuff here, and ends up going to the ground. And that stops the play. So it's 1st and 10 for Buffalo State at the RPI 46. 3.5 to go, third quarter. RPI 37, Buffalo State 7. 4 receiver formation for Maple. Maple in the flat looking for Rutledge. That's incomplete. A little bit out of his reach, and it was a forward pass. Ends up going out of bounds. So a bit of a breather. Second and 10 at the 46 for the Bengals. Maple throws quickly to the near side. That's complete to the 40, and not getting much farther thanks to Stefanski is Mazzara. He'll get stopped at the 38.
Sam Mazzara, tackled by Stefanski. Gain is to the RPI 38-yard line.
That'll make it 3rd down and 2 at the 38-yard line for Buffalo State. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Maple on the option, keeps it himself, cuts inside. He won't get a first down. Maple is stopped at the 37.
Stopped after a gain of 1.
Anderson in there on the front line for RPI.
Mark Anderson on the tackle, along with 38 Luke Latnabi.
That sets up 4th and 1 for Buffalo State. Offense will stay out there. We're at 2:20 left to go in the third quarter, and Buffalo State needs at least 4 scores. Three receivers right, 1 to the left. Maple out of the shotgun. Looks left, throws, that's complete. That'll be a first down, and spinning away from one tackle and getting tackled at the 30-yard line now. It'll be a first down for Buffalo State. That was Mazzara on the tackle. on the reception, pardon me, for Buffalo State. That keeps the Bengals drive going. We have 1:50 to go here, third quarter. RPI 37, Buffalo State 7. 1st and 10, Buffalo State at the RPI 30. 4 receivers set. Maple on the option. He will pitch this one. And tackled for a loss. Katowski gets in there and takes Robinson down for a loss back at the 32.
Loss of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 12.
Buffalo State getting the signals from the sidelines. 2nd and 12 back at the 32 of RPI. 3 receivers to the left. High snap, pull down, give us to Robinson. Robinson stopped at the line of scrimmage by Hoggard.
Stopped by Hoggard. And number 50, Fallon.
And that'll make it 3rd down and 10 for Buffalo State. 45 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Buffalo State with the wind right now. It's not a very strong wind, but still with the wind in this third quarter. Maple throws in the flat. That is complete, and just beyond the line of scrimmage was Shitu. And that was on 2nd down.
13, Shitu.
So he stopped at the 29-yard line.
Number 31, John Sadak.
And what is the down right now?
4th and 9.
It's 4th and 9. The scoreboard's wrong. It says 3rd down. The marker says 4th down. It is 4th and 9. As time is about to run down on quarter number 3. Buffalo State will not snap the ball. They will go over and talk about this. So 3 quarters are in the books here at the East Campus Stadium. The only score in this second half has been Scaglione's 2-yard run with 11:22 to go in the third quarter, and the kick by Krishnan made it 37-7 in RPI's favor. That's all the scoring. It's been a rather uneventful second half so far. But after 45 minutes are done here in Troy, it is RPI 37, Buffalo State 7, and it is a good time to remind you that you are listening to WRPI Troy with Engineer Football from the East Campus Stadium. Kurt Stutt flying solo on the call for you today, as RPI and Buffalo State, both with their last non-conference games of the season here in Troy. After this, it's conference games the rest of the way through. After 3 quarters, total offense, RPI 391, Buffalo State 219. Buffalo State 10 of 23 combined third and fourth down conversions. So less than half are they succeeding in. And Buffalo State still dominating in time of possession. 27-35 for the Bengals, 17-25 for RPI, but RPI dominating on the scoreboard. RPI 37, Buffalo State 7 as we start quarter number 4. It'll be Buffalo State going right to left, RPI left to right across your radio dial in this fourth quarter. Fourth down and about 8 or 9. Maple takes a snap, hits his own man as he's trying to run with the ball. Maple to the 25, Maple to the 20, and he's got a first down. Maple just gets inside the 20 to the 19-yard line, and Buffalo State maintains possession of the ball.
First and 10, Buffalo State at the RPI 19-yard line.
37-7 RPI leads. First and 10 for the Bengals at the RPI 19. And everybody moves ahead of time, and then we've got more movement as RPI crosses and touches, so we'll have a flag on this one, and they'll sort this out.
False start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
False start against Buffalo State. We'll back them up 5 yards.
Back to the 24-yard line. First and 15.
First and 15 for the Bengals as we're 30 seconds into the fourth quarter. RPI leading by 30. Buffalo State trying to do something here. Maple throwing end zone. He's got a man wide open, and that is good for a touchdown. He finds Everett in the corner, and Everett's got it for the TD, and Buffalo State moves their point total up to 13.
To number 7, Jordan Everett, 24-yard touchdown pass.
24 yards on that touchdown pass.
41. Justin Simoncelli.
Simoncelli on to try the extra point. Snap spot. The kick is up, and the kick is good. We have
Kick is good.
there's a flag on the play. There's an injured RPI player, and there is a flag. So we have 2 things going on here. So let's wait and see how this all sorts out.
Officials timeout, injured player. During the play, holding. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the try.
Okay, so holding against Buffalo State, they'll have to repeat the conversion attempt.
Penalty moves the ball back to the 12 for the point after.
This is now the equivalent of a 30-yard field goal for Simoncelli. Cirillo is the holder. The snap, the spot, the kick is up, and the kick is still good.
Kick is good. 14-12 remaining in the fourth quarter. The score, RPI 37.
So it's RPI 37, Buffalo State 14, with 14:12 to go here in the fourth quarter. For RPI, after 3 quarters, 233 rushing yards versus 56 for Buffalo State. And that's almost the same number of carries. RPI 26, Buffalo State 25. RPI, the advantage in first downs, only 17-11, but RPI, 2 scores were very quick. 2 scores occurred first play from scrimmage on the drive. They ended up scoring, so you don't get a lot of first downs if you score right away. Not a lot of penalties, 3 for each team going into this fourth quarter. Not a lot of punch, 3 overall in today's game. Carr to kick off. Boots the ball, taken at the 10-yard line. To the 15, Davies to the 20. Davies along the sidelines, 25, 30. He stepped out where? Davies stepped out at the 29. No, 30. Call it to 30. They're going to move it up to the 30 on this. So RPI starts out at the 30, up by 23 points with 14:06 to go in today's game.
Ball is at the 30, first and 10, RPI.
Marinopoulos still in there for RPI. Kelly's in the backfield with him. Tight end on the left with a receiver over there. Give us to Kelly. Kelly's going to go straight ahead, and he stopped at the line of scrimmage. There was no hole for Kelly to run through.
Number 5, J.T. Kelly on the carry. It's a gain of 2 on the play.
Brown was one of the defenders in there for Buffalo State on the tackle. Could have picked any of 4 if you wanted to for the tackle on that one. RPI looking for some ground action here. Try and wind that clock down with a 23-point lead in the fourth quarter. Kelly takes the carry again, finds a hole this time to the 35, to the 40. Kelly gets hit, stood up, stays on his feet, and they're going to, all right, there's going to be a flag coming out here as the whistle blew. Kelly, the crowd was reacting because Kelly really wasn't stopped, but then he was down like 2 yards ahead of that, but so it's only a slight difference here. They're going to say he's down at the 44, and we'll have to wait and see what the flag is.
Illegal block in the back, offense, number 52. Be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Okay, so it's an illegal block against RPI. There's an injured player, Joshua Benjamin, is injured right now for Buffalo State. So the training staff's out to look at him, and we have an official timeout. 13-13 to go here, fourth quarter. RPI 37, Buffalo State 14. Out of town, Endicott has retaken the lead over Hobart, 27-21, late in the third quarter. And we still have, at the half, Emory and Henry 38 and Rochester nothing. No score, Curry versus Union, and Ithaca at St. John Fisher is just getting underway, or has just gotten underway.
Holding penalty against RPI moves the ball back to the 30-yard line. Second down and 10.
So the block in the back against RPI moves the ball back to the 30. Second and 10 RPI. Clock has restarted since the previous play was a running play. They mark off the yards and start the clock again. Engineers. That's Bryce coming in from the wideout position to take the handoff, and he's down to the 39-yard line. That's Bryce Todd, I should say. Todd is his last name. Flags in the secondary now, as the fourth quarter has kind of slowed up here in Troy.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 35. 15-yard penalty. Added on to the end
Darren
of the play.
Wesley gets called
Automatic.
for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Personal foul against Buffalo State.
RPI not looking at a 3rd and 1. They're going to get an automatic first down.
Move the ball to the
And 15
Buffalo
yards to
State
boot on this, and the ball will go to the
46-yard
Buffalo
line.
State 46-yard line. 12:45 to go here, 4th quarter. RPI 37, Buffalo State 14. 1st and 10, RPI to Buffalo State 46-yard line. Kelly takes the handoff, goes right, turns the corner, 40, 35 to the 30. Kelly on his feet and knocked out inside the 20. Stewart, who was involved on the knockout, ended up on the RPI sideline, and he is injured, and we'll have another official timeout here. He will get up under his own power and make his way across the field.
Takes the ball to the Buffalo State.
Ball is at the Buffalo State 17 for RPI. They'll have another 1st and 10. As RPI leads 37-14 over the Bengals here in Troy. Both teams taking the opportunity to get some water. It's in the 70s here in Overcast. It is a far different day than it was a week ago at Utica, which was sunny and 80s, high 80s, and seemed a lot hotter. 1st and 10 RPI to Buffalo State 17. Kelly stays in the backfield. Marinopoulos still in there at QB for RPI. Receivers bunched together to the right. They're going to give to Kelly. Kelly straight up the middle. He's got a nice hole to the 10. Kelly to the 5. Kelly caught by the ankles and brought down inside the 5. But this will be a 1st and goal for RPI. Barksdale on the tackle for WPI. Or not WPI, for Buffalo State. 1st and goal RPI. Kelly with another carry, 5, and he's going to be stopped at the 5-yard line.
On the carry. No gain on the play. Tackled by Brinkle. And number 42, Trey Pitts.
RPI spending as much time as possible between plays at this point.
2nd and goal.
As they have no real desire to run plays quickly. 2nd down and goal RPI. Kelly stays in the backfield. He'll get the carry. Kelly straight ahead to the 5. Kelly still on his feet. Kelly is down inside the 1. Yes, Kelly is down inside the 1.
Kelly on the carry.
On 2nd down. Sets up a 3rd and goal from maybe the 1-foot line at this point.
.36, Jaquan Woodson on the tackle. 3rd and goal from the 1.
3rd and goal RPI. 11 to go here. 4th quarter. They'll give to Kelly once again. Kelly goes straight ahead, dives in, and he's in for the touchdown. 1-yard run by Kelly puts RPI up 43-14. Buffalo State's big mistake on that play was the maybe unsportsmanlike conduct call that gave RPI, moved RPI from a 3rd and 1 to a 1st down. Kristen on for the extra point, and that is good. We have 10:59 to go here in quarter number 4. RPI leads 44-14.
Buffalo State 14.
RPI's efficient offense today, 9 possessions, 7 scores. Once they gave up the ball at the half, and then once they punted. Not going to see much better than that. Buffalo State waiting the ball for their 9th possession. RPI has kicked everything short. All the kickoffs have been short today. The return men for Buffalo State have not had much of a chance. Now they'll go long, and that goes over the heads of the return man, and it'll be downed. That is Jackson, who will down it in the end zone. So they had moved up, and that gave RPI an opportunity to kick the ball over their heads, and Buffalo State takes it at the 25-yard line.
Christian's kick into the end zone for a touchback. Bus State will start 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Buffalo State put together almost a 7-minute drive on their last possession to get their second touchdown of the game. They trail by 30. Maple stays out there at quarterback. He has come in relief. Pass in the flat to Rutledge at the 23. Rutledge is upended at the 25 and goes down at the 27-yard line.
Tackled by Kyle Samuels. Gain of 3 on the play, 7th down and 7.
2nd and 7 as the ball's at the 23 now for Buffalo State. Through RPI, if they want to keep the ball in bounds for short gains, let them. Maple, pump fakes to the left, under pressure. Maple will get sacked back at the 22-yard line. Conquo was in there for RPI.
Maple was sacked back at the 21-yard line. Third down and 14.
Back to the 21-yard line, 3rd and 14 for Buffalo State as they are under 10 minutes to go in today's game. 4 wide receiver formation for Maple. Takes a 2-step drop. Now he's going to start running with the ball. Maple to the 25. Maple stays on his feet to the 29, but then he's pushed back. Anthony Gallo came in.
Tackled by 35, Francis Perry at 46. Austin Charles.
Charles in there as well for RPI in the tackle. So Gallo and Charles on the tackle for RPI. And it'll be short of a first down for Buffalo State as the ball only made it up to the 29. They need to get to the 35. So the punter for Buffalo State will be making another appearance today. Buffalo State has not punted much. 2 punts, both back in the first quarter. Ball is kicked. That's a low kick. It bounces around the RPI 42, and Carr's kick is covered at about the 42, call it the 42-yard line on RPI's side of the field. Only the 3rd punt there for Buffalo State. RPI takes over at their own 42. 44 for RPI so far, 14 for Buffalo State, as there is 8:52 left to go in this 4th quarter. Engineers 1st and 10 at their own 42. Replacement at quarterback for RPI. Kelly takes the handoff. Kelly is out to the 50. Looks like he's got a first down at the 47-yard line for RPI. That is Skivington, Ryan Skivington, a sophomore, who's in there now at QB. As Marinopoulos' day is over, I can see him at the sidelines. Standing next to some of the other offensive players as RPI is in control of this one, up by 30 with 8.5 to go. Officials are straightening out something. I don't know what it is. 1st and 10, RPI. Kelly with the handoff. That was a slow, poor handoff from Skivington to Kelly, and that gave the defense time to get in there.
38 Drylow. And 99 EC Wyden.
Wigan in on the tackle for Buffalo State. Too slow a handoff. Didn't give Kelly enough time to get some momentum going forward. 2nd down, loss of 2 on that play. So it's 2nd down and 12 RPI back at their own 49-yard line. And this is a keeper by Skivington, and he is stopped near the line of scrimmage. Swearline on the first hit for Buffalo State. They'll say he got 1 to the 48. That'll make it 3rd and 11 for RPI. 25 seconds on the play clock. RPI is just looking over to the sidelines, trying to get this one under 7 minutes to go before they snap it. Kelly in the backfield. Skivington takes the snap. He's going to run with the ball to the 50, to the 45, to the 40. Skivington puts his head down, and he's got a 1st down. Skivington gets to the 36. That'll be a 1st down for RPI. Joshua Benjamin on the tackle there, but RPI keeps the clock moving, keeps the drive going. First and 10 at the 36-yard line for RPI. To give this to Kelly. Kelly is stopped after a gain of 1 to the 35.
Kelly on the carry. Tackled after a gain of
Pitts
1.
on the tackle for
By number
Buffalo State.
45, Lucido.
Clock keeps moving. There'll be under 6 to go before they snap this ball. Single receivers each side, men in the slot each side. Kelly gets the handoff, breaks it in 1 tackle, 35, now stopped at the 34, we'll call it.
Tackled by number 36, Jaquan Wilson.
Wilson on the tackle for Buffalo State. That makes it 3rd down and about 8 for RPI. With 5.5 to go, 4th quarter, RPI leading by 30. Not a lot of urgency in this game right now. Ten seconds left on the play clock. RPI goes to the line for 3rd and 8. Skivington gets the snap. And we have a handoff. New running back there for RPI, and that should be a 1st down as Ryan Trudeau is in there now for the Engineers.
Molina on the carry. Tackled by 45, Lucido.
That'll be a 1st down for RPI.
26-yard line. 1st and 10.
Oops, that's Kalina, pardon me. Angel Kalina. Angel Kalina on the carry for RPI to get them a 1st down at the 26-yard line. Kalina takes the ball once again, caught from behind this time and stopped at the line of scrimmage. That was Pitts on the tackle for the Bengals. 44-14, RPI lead with 4:20 to go in today's game.
7 down and 10.
With RPI looking to the sideline and taking a lot of time off the clock each time and then running the ball, it's almost like running time. Clock is not stopping much here. 2nd down, Skivington on a keeper, 25 to the 20. Skivington stays on his feet and he stopped forward progress at the 22. Most everybody on the field was in the middle of that pile. And that's going to set up a 3rd down and 1 for RPI.
Tackled by 49, Swerline, and number 50, Dwight Adams. Gains to the 17-yard line. 3rd down and 1.
3rd and 1 for RPI at the 17-yard line. 3:15 to go in the game. RPI leading by 30. Colina in the backfield. Skivington out of the shotgun. To give this to Colina. He gets hit again, doesn't make it to the first down marker, actually loses a yard back to the 18-yard line.
Tackled by Delmont. So loss of 1 on the play.
Delmont on the tackle for Buffalo State. So it'll be 4th down. Under 3 to go in today's game. The offense stays out there for RPI in what is a 4th and 2.
4th down and 2.
If RPI doesn't get it, Buffalo State's pinned deep. It's a 30-point score. High snap. Skivington keeps it. Skivington runs forward, and Skivington's inside the 15 to about the 13, and that'll be a first down for RPI. They'll put him down at the 14-yard line, but that'll be a first down with 2:29 to go in the game. RPI leading 44-14. Buffalo State not trying to stop the clock. Skivington to Colina. Colina cuts outside. Can't find any room, and he'll get brought down.
Colina on the carry.
Well behind the line of scrimmage, but they'll say his forward progress had him at the line of scrimmage. We're under 2 minutes to go in today's game. RPI leading 44-14 over Buffalo State.
No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10.
No real surprise how this one is going to end. 2nd down and 10, RPI with about a minute and a half to go. Colina on another carry. Nope, that's Skivington, pardon me. Keeps it himself. He gets knocked around the 15-yard line, and he's stopped at the 14.
Tackled by Brink.
It will soon be 3rd down and 10-ish. Let's call it 10-ish. Ball won't be snapped until there's well under a minute to play. 1:01, 1 minute to go, 20 seconds on the play clock. No, this is 2nd down and 10, pardon me. No, now it's 3rd down, that's right. Scoreboard is wrong. The marker now just got changed. 3rd down and 10 for RPI. Skivington takes a snap. Gives to Colina. Colina goes into a pile, and finally they're going to blow this one dead, and there'll be less than 40 seconds to go on the game clock, as the clock is still going to be running because that play was inbounds. So RPI doesn't have to snap the ball. Buffalo State has no desire to stop the clock. If all goes according to plan, this game will end very shortly, in about 10 seconds. Two seconds, 1 second, and that will do it. It's over here in Troy. RPI has defeated Buffalo State 44-14. A game that RPI was in control of basically all the way through. And if you're curious, RPI burned off the last 8 minutes and 52 seconds of this game. They got the ball. I just went and double-checked on live stats. They got the ball with 8:52 to go. They kept it on the ground and never scored, but erased the rest of the time on the clock to give RPI a 44-14 victory. If you're RPI, this is a solid 60 minutes of play. The games earlier this year, there were ups and downs. Certainly last week against Utica, there was difficulties certainly on offense, trying to move the ball down the field at times. But today, this was an absolutely solid 60 minutes by RPI. They went up against a team. You knew what their deficiencies were. RPI took advantage of that. It was a Buffalo State team that was giving up a lot of yards rushing. RPI started out on the ground, getting a lot of yards and putting Buffalo State behind. Engineers did most of it on the ground. 48 rushes today for RPI, 343 yards rushing. There were only 13 pass attempts, only 8 pass completions. For RPI, 343 yards rushing, 158 yards passing. That's quite a discrepancy. 501 total yards by RPI versus 256 for Buffalo State. They made Buffalo State pay on the ground. Cella with 131 yards rushing. Marinopolis, 2 touchdown passes. Quietly, Marinopolis had a very good game. 8 of 13, 158 yards, 2 touchdown passes. That's averaging over 10 yards per attempt. That's 2 touchdowns versus 0 interceptions. RPI actually didn't turn the ball over at all today. Quietly had a very good game, and sometimes the quarterback's passing stats don't say everything, because this was the ground game. This was Marinopolis doing a good job on the ground. Skivington came in later on for that last drive, for the last 8 minutes and 52 seconds of today's game. Actually, may have come in earlier, I don't remember. But a very well-managed game. The defense for RPI can only give up 2 scores, 2 touchdowns. That's a winnable game, and certainly RPI won today. So for RPI, a solid game all around, and if you are Buffalo State, there's a lot more still to work on. So I'm going to run down the scoring in today's game, as this one was kind of over with as we were into the second half. 7:27 to go in the first quarter. Calabro with a 19-yard pass from Marinopolis. Christian's kick made it 7-0 RPI. And then Christian with a 26-yard field goal with 2:26 to go in the first made it 10-0 RPI. That was the score after 1 quarter. Second quarter, RPI made it a 3-score lead. Well, 2-3, depending on how you look at it. Law with a 13-yard run. The kick failed, made it 16-0 RPI with 12:40 to go in the second quarter. And then 3 scores in rapid succession. 6:57 to go. Everett for Buffalo State with a 6-yard pass from Torillo. Simon Selly's kick made it 16-7 in RPI's favor. For RPI, they answered back. Cella with a 65-yard run. Christian's kick is 6:47 to go in the first quarter, made it 23-7 in favor of RPI. And then just 21 seconds later, Ackerman with a 27-yard pass from Marinopolis. That was off the interception. Made it 30-7, with Christian's kick. And that was the score at the half. RPI 30, Buffalo State 7. RPI increased their lead to 30. Scaglione with a 2-yard run. Christian's kick at 11:22 to go in the third, made it 37-7 in RPI's favor. That was a score after 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, Buffalo State did get one back. Everett with a 23-yard pass from Maple, who came in relief of Torillo, the starting quarterback. Simon Selly's kick made it 37-14 in RPI's favor. Then RPI got the final score of the game. Kelly with a 1-yard run. Christian's kick with 10:59 to go in the game made it 44-14 in RPI's favor. With the win, RPI improves to 4-0 on the season. No conference games. They will be in action in 2 weeks at Ithaca, a 1 o'clock start in 2 weeks at Butterfield Stadium, and that will start out Liberty League play for the RPI Engineers. For Buffalo State, they fall to 0-3 on the season, and all the problems that they had so far this year have resurfaced in today's game, and there's a lot for them to work on. They will be at home for the first time this year. Buffalo State plays Hartwick next Saturday at noon. So Buffalo State gets 1 week to attempt to straighten out what they have to straighten out in terms of their play. If you're RPI, it's a week off next week, and then in 2 weeks they are at Ithaca to start out their league schedule. Engineers of the game. On offense, I'm going to give it to Nick Cella. There was a lot of good running in today's game, a lot of good play all around the offense today. I will give it to Cella with 131 yards rushing on 12 carries. That's a 10.9 average, and he wasn't the only one with a good average. Scaglione was 8 for 72 with a 9-yard average. Kelly was 11 for 69. That's a 6.1-yard average. And Skivington, the quarterback who came in at the end, had a 5.2-yard average rushing. All those are good. If you're over 5, you're good. If you're at 10 like Cella, that's great. So Nick Cella is going to be my offensive engineer of the game. My defensive engineer game goes to Jack Hoggard with 13 tackles, 2 unassisted, 11 assisted in today's action. And the RPI defense played exceptionally well. If you look down the results for the Buffalo State defense, these are possessions. Downs, gave it over on downs. They had to punt twice, 1 touchdown. RPI intercepted it, turned that into 7. Twice again, turned it over on downs, a touchdown, and then a punt. So that's 3 times Buffalo State turned it over on downs 1 time on a turnover. That's very good for a defense. There were only 9 Buffalo State possessions in today's game. Those are low stats for possessions. Usually you get a lot more possessions in a game, or 13, 14, something like that. There were only 9 possessions for Buffalo State, 10 for RPI. And if you force the opposition to turn it over on downs 3 times and 1 turnover, basically you have stopped them totally 4 times. You've prevented them from doing what they wanted to do 4 times out of 9. That leaves you with 5 possessions left to do something, and they only did something on 2 of those 5. That's a really good day for the defense. So Hoggard is going to be my defensive player of the game for RPI, and Cella will be my offensive player of the game for RPI today. A good win for RPI, solid all the way through. I think if you were here by the end of the second quarter, you're thinking, yeah, RPI is going to win this one, unless something really weird happened. Nothing did. And it was a solid, strong, best performance of the year by RPI with the victory today. So we're going to send it back to the station very shortly. Before we go, we would like to thank the Rensselaer Union. They provide the funding for WRPI and all the club-related activity of the Institute, and that includes WRPI's coverage of engineer, football, hockey, and baseball. Also, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to WRPI.org. And you can pick up our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. As long as we're sending something out over the ether of the air, we will provide it for you on that feed. Once again, that is WRPI.org. Our next football broadcast is our next sports broadcast. That is in 2 weeks. RPI is off on the 29th. They are back in action 2 weeks from today, as they will be in Ithaca at Butterfield Stadium. That is a 1 o'clock start on October 6th, as RPI starts out their Liberty League schedule. Before we go out, let's take a look at what's going on around the league. The latest scores we have, Endicott leads Hobart 27-24 about midway through the 4th quarter, and Emory and Henry has a 38-0 lead on Rochester. That's still at the half, and I don't think that game is going to swing back in the other direction. Didn't get an update. Curry Union and Ithaca St. John Fisher, they're probably just starting the 2nd quarter right about now, that game being played out at St. John Fisher, which is just outside of Rochester. I'd like to thank all the people back at the station for making sure we got out over the air today. Had a little trouble at the beginning in terms of connecting, but we got all that squared away, and it looks good. Looked like everything was good for this entire game. My name is Kurt Sutton. I'd like to thank you for listening to today's game. It's a happy day here at the East Campus Stadium, because the final score here from the East Campus Stadium in non-conference football, it was RPI 44 and Buffalo State 14. And you've been listening to live coverage of Engineer football on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.